to 1, where it was walking you through the 5 steps you would need to do to be able to answer this one question that might seem so small and simplistic at first glance. There's actually 5 problems built into it, 5 steps you have to go through. And on the unit exam, if you had not managed to achieve success at one of the previous steps that you needed, you wouldn't be able to figure out the next step. And so that's why I was getting flooded with questions of, I don't have enough information to answer one of the questions being asked. And it's like, yeah, because probably you didn't get the information you needed from a previous part of the consideration. And so let me kind of break this down for you. Let me show you everything that goes into a question like this. You forgot if you did it right or wrong. Well, let me show you how you need to approach this question from start to finish to answer this somewhat simplistic looking statement. How fast is the card moving? So when we have the card at point A, I have some energy. And I can say the total energy in the system, the mechanical energy in the system, will be equal to potential energy at A and kinetic energy at A. And so if this cart, the way the question is kind of laid out, it seems like it might be at rest. It's at the top of a hill. It's going to slowly start to make its way down the hill. I can think if the cart is at rest, that means my kinetic energy is 0. If I have no speed, if I have no motion, that means I have no kinetic energy. And that means all the energy I have in the system is 100% potential. And so let's calculate that. How much energy do we actually have? Well, I have a mass, 7.8 kilograms. I have a height, 12 meters. And I have a little g. Acceleration due to gravity should be 9.81 meters per second squared. Can we see the physics exam results? For sure. Yeah, I can open that up so you guys can start looking that over, doing some review. I don't want to just leave it open indefinitely. So I want to kind of, while we're together and having the ability for you guys to ask me questions, that's really what the rest of our time together is going to be about. All the rest of today, Monday and Tuesday, getting ready for that final exam. So for sure, I can open that up. Just remind me after this practice question. Okay, so the calculation, I know that potential energy will equal mgh, multiplication of those variables. And so I should be able to just plug and play. The equation is already set up in the right format. I don't know the EP. I'm going to calculate the EP. And so I can plug and play. 7.8 kilograms times 9.81 meters per second squared times a height, 12 meters, means I should have a total energy of 7.8 times 9.81 times 12, 918.216 joules. And that means, if I label that as star, for example, at point A, I have star amount of energy. At point B, I have star amount of energy. At point C, I have star amount of energy. Total energy stays same at every point. I am never allowed to create or lose energy. I'm not having energy leave the system. And it turns out, for this question, I don't care one bit about point B. I don't care. I think the question I gave you on the unit exam had like 4 different points and asked you about a final point. And you don't care about anything in the middle if all you care about is at the end here. So now when I'm looking at point C, I can say, okay, this thing has a mix. The total energy should equal that 918.216 joules. That's how much energy I have total. And I know at point C, it's a mix of kinetic and potential. So I need to calculate both of those pieces. I know that the EK should be 1/2 mv squared. I know that the EP should be mgh. And if I check out what I know and what I don't know, this will help me kind of figure out how I'm going to solve this. So I see I have a height. I know height. I know I have a little g. I always have that. I have a mass. So I should be able to figure this out in its entirety. Looking over here, I have a mass. I do not have velocity, which means I'm not going to be able to figure this thing out. But I do have my E total. And so it looks like I should be able to get there. I should be able to figure this out. And so what I'm going to do is I can't do this calculation. I can't just jump right to the answer. How fast is it moving? Because I don't know the kinetic energy. But I should be able to do an analysis. Let's make a second variable list. I have energy total being 918.216 joules. And I have a mass of 7.8 kilograms. I have my little g, 9.81 meters per second squared. And I have my height at this point, at point C, which was 8.0 meters. And so I'm curious, what is my potential energy? I should be able to figure that out. And so if I solve for that, sorry, having to jump down over here. It's all three of those things being multiplied together. 7.8, 9.81 times 8 means at this point, I have a potential energy at C of 612.144 joules. And if I wanted to calculate how much kinetic energy I have, I know my energy total should equal EP plus EK. And now I have this, I do not have this. Oh, sorry, put that in the wrong spot. My bad. I know this, I do not know this. So let's manipulate, let's solve for EK. EK is going to have to equal energy total minus energy potential. That should equal EK. So if I substitute these in, my total was 918.216 minus the potential, 612.144. Should give me the kinetic, 918.216, oops, 6 minus 612.144. EK at C is 306.072. And now I am almost there, almost done. I know EK is equal to 1/2 mv squared. And now it looks like I know this piece. I know this piece. I do not know this piece. And that was my goal. That was what the entire question was about. I want to solve for that V. And so if I rearrange that equation, I'm not going to show the work for how I get there, but it's going to be 2 EK divided by M, square root of all that equals V. And if I plug in those numbers, it's 2 multiplied by 306.072 divided by the mass. How big was this thing again? 7.8. And then all of that is being square rooted. 2 times 306.072 divided by 7.8, square root of that. V equals 8.85889 meters per second. And quickly double checking what was provided for me in the question. 2 digits, 2 digits, 2 digits. So I want to see 2 digits in my answer. So I can say final answer, 8.9 meters per second. How are we doing? I know that is a fair amount of work, a lot that goes into it, but those are the steps you would have needed to work through in order to answer it. Yeah, it is not